Hello, this is Lacquerography, and this is my wish list for April 2025's Hella Handmade Creations. I've already gone ahead into the website and made a first impressions preliminary wish list. And right now, I have a whopping 15 items that are catching my eye. Let's just dive right in and take a look at the 15 items that are attracting my attention this month. The first item on my wish list is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, and this one is called The Flame Mother. Bee's Knees Lacquer continues their Fallout series. The Flame Mother is a bold pink with soft blue aurora shimmer. And it's listed down here that at this point, there is no listed cap for this polish. What that means is that in this case, the maker, Bee's Knees Lacquer, can create as many polishes as are needed this month to fulfill all orders. I've been following Bee's Knees Lacquer's Fallout series month upon month through Hella Handmade Creations. And what I've been loving about the series is that it's got kind of I guess I'd call it like a murky, dystopian, very grayed out, almost pruggly kind of colorway that's been happening month upon month. When I saw this polish, it just absolutely took my breath away. It's so strikingly bright and beautiful. And in terms of my Bee's Knees Lacquer collection, and I do have quite a few, I really have very few pinks at all. And all these things considered, this one would be an incredibly welcome addition to my collection. Before I make a purchase this month too, I think I'm going to make a point to look back at all of Bee's Knees Lacquer's releases within this Fallout series that have been happening over the past several months, just to see how this one compares. I think that this one is quite an outlier from what I can recall, and I can't say enough about the way this one looks. The other thing that really won me over too is I did happen to catch video swatch footage of this polish on Caitlin Swatch's channel here on YouTube, and the results of this polish were just absolutely jaw-dropping in all lighting conditions. Caitlin has this way of showing off a polish in all kinds of lighting, and this polish hasn't left my mind since. This Bee's Knees Lacquer polish is one of my top picks this month. This brilliant, hot, bold pink is by Bee's Knees Lacquer, The Flame Mother. This next polish up is by Cleona Cosmetics, and this one is called Polylepis, and I hope I'm saying that correctly. Cleona Cosmetics continues their Fascinating Forest series with a polish inspired by the highest altitude growing trees on the planet, Polylepis terrapicana. These evergreen trees grow in the South American Andes mountain range and can be found as forests at altitudes where hardly any other plant species thrive. Polylepis has a warm red-brown jelly base with lime shimmer and a soft indigo shift, best worn in 3 coats to reach the color depth in the bottle or 2 coats for a more jelly finish. This one as well, at this point, has no availability cap. I'm loving the depth and the richness of this color. Something that I've been noticing about myself lately is I love this effect of contrasting shimmer within a polish. Really, I guess, who am I kidding? I kind of love all shimmer polishes, but there's something so interesting, very unique about a contrasting shimmer in a polish. With this polish being a warm red-brown based polish, contrasting with this lime shimmer, and it also describes it as having a soft indigo shift to it as well. I think the contrast for this one would just be mesmerizing. This is another series that I've been keeping an eye on month upon month, and I've managed to pick up several of these polishes in this series as well. I think that this one will be no different. This really interesting red-brown jelly-based shimmer is by Cleona Cosmetics, Polylepis. This next polish up is by Cracked Polish, and this one is called Merk Merk. Now I am noticing here that this one is listed as a capped pre-order polish, so looking down, I'm noticing that this one says that there is a cap of 500. In this case, what that means is that this maker, Cracked Polish, is committing to making 500 of these polishes, and after that, it's considered sold out. Cracked Polish continues their Down the Indie Rabbit Hole series. Tumbling further down the rabbit hole, we bring you Merk Merk, a name I've been itching to use, and trust me, it delivers. Inspired by the enchanting glow of a fairy-touched forest, this luminous light green shimmers with an almost magical radiance. There's something about being surrounded by nature that just ignites the soul, and this shade captures that feeling perfectly. Whether worn alone for an ethereal glow or layered to transform any polish into something otherworldly, Merc is the kind of enchantment your nails need. And it goes on to say that Merc is a sheer glowy green packed with green shimmers. Now, I find it interesting that this polish is in my wish list kind of against the last two. This polish is another shimmer polish. Surprise, I love shimmers. But this one has a rather coordinating shimmer compared with the last polishes that have more of a contrasting shimmer. I am a lover of greens of all different shades. And this one being kind of a minty, glowy green just really appeals to me right at this very moment. After having one of the coldest winters that we've had in my area in a long time, with constant snow cover for about 3 months, I am just craving seeing greens out in the world. And if I can get a green like this one on my nails, I would be incredibly happy. This really beautiful shimmery green is by Cracked Polish Merc. This next polish up is by Garden Path Lacquers, and this one is called The Choice to Love. This one as well has no listed cap at this point. Garden Path Lacquers wraps up their Bridgerton Dresses series with a polish inspired by Violet Bridgerton. The Choice to Love is a creamy sunshine yellow base accented with several shades of shifting blue aurora shimmer and blue shifting glass flakes. It's only really quite recently, in the last maybe 2 years or so, that I've become quite a lover of yellow nail polishes. I've gone from avoiding anything with even the faintest hint of anything resembling yellow or gold because I always feared that it made my nails have kind of a stained look, to now becoming somebody that anytime I see a yellow, it almost invariably ends up on my wish list. This is one of those yellows that has that sunshiny effect for me. I also find that there seems to be a little bit of a paleness to this one, giving it a buttery, creamy kind of effect. And I'm loving this cooler shimmer in here. This one actually seems like it's kind of an analogous shimmer to me if you're kind of looking at color theory. We've got a yellow polish with a green to blue looking shimmer. I guess it is described here as being a blue shimmer, but in a lot of these swatches, I am detecting something that's leaning a little bit aqua as well. So it's making me think of kind of an analogous type shimmer. It's really interesting and quite different from anything that I have in my collection. I do have quite a few yellow cream polishes. I do have some yellows as well with a warmer kind of fiery shimmer to it. So this one with that icier, cooler, breezier kind of shimmer is very much appealing to me. And I love also the look that these flakies are giving here. It looks like they'll pick up the light in all kinds of interesting ways, and then paired with this shimmer and this really sunny, optimistic base color. This one is one of my very top picks this month. I'm loving this really sunny, optimistic yellow by Garden Path Lacquers, The Choice to Love. This next one up is by Hearts and Promises, Deep Amethyst. This one is another capped pre-order polish, and it's listed here that only 200 of these are going to be made available this month. Hearts and Promises continues their Crystals Gemstones series with a polish inspired by amethysts. Deep Amethyst has a linear hollow purple base with blue purple aurora shimmer. This one was an easy add to wish list for me. My mom has a birthday in February, and I actually have been collecting for quite a while amethyst theme polishes because they remind me of my mom. I find this polish quite intriguing for me because first of all, there's this incredible linear hollow happening through here. That flame that's hitting is sending rainbows off the nails. And I think that's a gorgeous look. And I don't think that I have anything quite like that in my collection. Also, I'm finding that this amethyst color is a really bright, vibrant amethyst. I find that this amethyst theme polish is really quite bright and vibrant. I find that several of the amethyst polishes that I've collected so far have a little bit of a deeper look to them. Or on the other hand too, I have several that have a bit of a lightness and a sheerness to them, capitalizing on those lighter, more whitened or almost pastel colored amethysts. So this one's really quite interesting to me. It looks like it has a brilliant shimmer coming off of it, and the rainbow flame coming off the nails as well is really spectacular. This amethyst theme polish is by Hearts and Promises Deep Amethyst. This next polish up on my wish list is by Lurid Lacquer, and this one is called I Would Die for That Dog and That Wyvern. This one is another capped listing with only 500 of these being made available this month. Lurid Lacquer continues their A Court of Tropes and Cliches series with a polish inspired by their favorite romantasy characters, are always the side characters and animal companions. There was something a little bit awkward there about that sentence, but basically their favorite characters are the side characters and animal companions. This polish is inspired by the very lovable Fleetfoot and Abraxos from Thorn of Glass. And I hope I said that correctly. I Would Die for That Dog and That Wyvern has a mauve crelly base with iridescent flakies that shift from pink to orange to gold and micro holographic flakes. When I saw this listing, I breathed a sigh of relief. I passed up a polish in April's polish pickup not that long ago that had a bit of a similar vibe to this one. It was different. It was a little bit more of a sweeter pink, kind of a paler, more pastel pink color rather than a mauve. This one has a little bit more of a darker, more grayed aspect to it, but it had this kind of a vibe with some interesting flakies and other good stuff happening in it. But I passed it up and I was really regretting it, and now it's no longer available. It was limited edition, no longer available. So when I saw that this one was being offered, this was an immediate add to wish list. There's a few things that I can say about this one other than it reminding me of a polish that slipped through my fingers. First of all, Lurid Lacquer. Lurid Lacquer is a brand that I've only in the last couple of months been able to get my hands on. When they first launched their brand, they were only available domestically in the US, and I'm a Canadian. I was so excited that around Black Friday, the maker was finally able to ship internationally. And then not too long after that, Lurid Lacquer began joining Hella Handmade Creations and Polish Pickup as well, making it even easier for me to secure their polishes. Due to a Canada Post strike that happened in November and December, it took me quite a while to get a hold of the polishes that I ordered, and I actually still haven't been able to try out my Lurid Lacquer polishes, and I can't wait to do it because I've been pining after these polishes for so long. But I've heard such wonderful things about this brand. I know that this one is a colorway that I could get 4 seasons a year use out of, as well as pretty much for almost any occasion that I can imagine. There's something about this polish that I think would be a beautiful take on a work-appropriate polish. In my job as an elementary teacher, I don't have any restrictions on the types of things I can wear as far as nail polish goes, but I'm always kind of aware when I've got some professional activities coming up, whether it's meeting with parents or important meetings, that kind of thing, that sometimes I do tone down my look a little bit. So a polish like this one, it's like a neutral but way better, and it would make an incredible addition to my collection. I'm really excited about this one. This gorgeous flaky pink is by Lurid Lacquer. I Would Die for That Dog and That Wyvern. This next one up is by Moonshine Manny, and this one is called Daria. This one is another capped pre-order polish with only 200 being made available this month. Moonshine Manny continues their 90s TV series with a polish inspired by Daria. Daria is a seriously devastating burgundy glowing with fierce gold orange shimmer. Now I have to admit, when I first added this one to the wish list, I thought it was beautiful, and that's why I initially added it to my wish list, but I actually took it off for a little bit. And then just before filming this video, I went back through my pics and I added this one back on thinking, what was I doing by taking it off? So here's what changed my mind about this one. First of all, reds are kind of a newfound love of mine. I've only really been wearing red polishes very much for the last maybe year or so. Red polishes are a look that I absolutely adore on everybody else, but I do tend to work a lot with my hands. I'm a teacher. One of my other big hobbies is knitting, which tends to be hard on my nails and on my manicure. And just living life too, washing dishes, all those things. I tend to chip my nails quite quickly, even with good quality polish and top coats and things like that. And there's just something about the look specifically of red polish where I love that pristine, elegant, sexy look of red polish on everybody else. But I know that with tipware on me and frequent chipping, it's not always the best look. But just recently, I've kind of learned to kind of look past that and just go for reds. And I've been loving them. I very often have to change them out a little more often and just wear them for about 2 days. Because where tipware doesn't always bother me with other colors, there is something about red polish where I just want it looking flawless all the time. So I do tend to only wear it for a minimum number of days, maybe about 2 days or so. But then I saw video swatch footage of this polish, and I don't even recall where I saw it. Could have been here on YouTube, could have been on Facebook, also could have been on Instagram, but I couldn't believe what I was seeing with this one. It's this gorgeous, almost, I don't know, it was like a jellyish looking red in a way, and I don't mean that in a see-through way at all. I just mean in the way that it kind of had like a juicy look to it, and then the flame of this really interesting warm shimmer running throughout it. It brought back all kinds of incredible nostalgic memories for me in my teens, shopping at local department stores, Eaton's and the Bay here in Canada, oogling and drooling over the nail polish displays and not being able to afford them. I didn't get my first job until well into the 90s, so I missed out on buying a lot of these things. I needed my job to pay for school. So unfortunately, expensive, amazing nail polish, like what I used to see from Urban Decay or MAC Cosmetics, was just completely out of reach, and I never did get to experience those brands. But this one brings back all those memories. This one also makes me think quite a bit of all those incredible 90s female musicians that I just adored. Musicians like Tori Amos, Courtney Love, Alanis Morissette, and so many more that just were edgy and independent and powerful and incredibly talented. And I don't know what it is about this one, but all those memories kind of fled back of the 90s. I have no context for Daria. I didn't watch Daria at all and didn't actually know what it was, but I love this polish. And this one has gone from being knocked off my wish list in the beginning to being one of my very top picks this month. This incredible red shimmer polish is by Moonshine Manny, Daria. This next polish up is by Night Owl Lacquer, and it's called Momnipotent. Night Owl Lacquer continues their Bob's Burgers series. Momnipotent is a blurple crelly filled with multichrome flakes that shift aqua blue, purple, green. There is no availability cap listed at this point for this polish. Bob's Burgers is actually another show where I've only watched a very small handful of episodes ever, perhaps only like 2 or 3. But seeing polishes like this one and several of the others that Night Owl Lacquer has offered in the last several months through this series, I really wish that I could watch this show and experience the colors in this animated program that might inspire polishes that are as brilliant as the ones that Night Owl Lacquer is creating. When I first created my wish list, this was another one of my very top picks this month. In fact, when I first created this wish list, this one was my top pick. It has competition now, though, now that I've been sitting with this wish list for a couple of days. But here's what I love about this one. I love the depth of this incredible blurple base. I find that it has a little bit of a moodiness to it, and I love that. It's less brilliant and vibrant and a little bit more moody, I find. And I'm loving the depth that's added to this one through these flakes. I love the contrast here. I really don't know how else to describe this one other than moody. It makes me think actually of October nights. It brings to mind thoughts of Halloween and an eeriness. It's really quite lovely. It also makes me think a little bit of violets, beautiful flowers with those rich purple petals, that incredible pigmentation. This one is another top pick on my wish list. This one is by Night Owl Lacquer, Momnipotent. This next one on my wish list is by Paradox Polish, and this one is called The Shiz. Paradox Polish begins a new series inspired by Wicked, with the first polish inspired by a populous city that the university that our main characters go to. The shiz is a black jelly with nebulous blue iridescent flakes and silver metallic flake. The description of the inspiration there was a little bit clunky, but I think I get the picture. I haven't watched the movie yet, but I have seen the musical twice. My understanding is that the shiz is the university or the school that Glinda and Elphaba attend. So this one's an interesting one for me. I realize that now that I've got it in my wish list, kind of adjacent to that Night Owl lacquer, I may have some thinking to do. So I'll have to see if I end up getting this polish in the end. But I was so excited to see that Paradox Polish was back in Hella Handmade Creations this month. This is a brand that I've been realizing I actually don't own too many of their polishes, just a small handful of them. In recent months, I've been oogling people's swatches of their Paradox Polish collection, and I've realized that it's a brand that I should own more of. I guess what it is for me really is that I don't have as much access to this brand, other than getting their polishes through collaboration websites like this one, where there are limited edition offerings. There are no Canadian stockists for me that carry Paradox Polish. It is a little bit more difficult for me to purchase Paradox Polish as an international buyer. So I was really thrilled to see that Paradox Polish is back with a new series that is wicked. Now, I haven't seen the movie yet, and I'm actually really excited to see the movie, but I did absolutely love the musical. I think the story is just ingenious. The music is incredible. I mean, who can deny Gravity? I can't wait to see where Paradox Polish takes this series. This galaxy-looking polish is by Paradox Polish, the Shiz. This next polish up is by Psyche Minerals, and this one is called But He Was Still Hungry. This one is another cap pre-order polish with only 275 of them being made available. Psyche Minerals, and I hope I'm pronouncing the brand's name correctly. If you know at all whether the brand prefers Psyche Minerals or Psych Minerals, please let me know in the comments, and I'll make sure that moving forward that I pronounce the brand's name properly. Psyche Minerals continues their children's book series with a polish inspired by The Very Hungry Caterpillar. But He Was Still Hungry is a medium green jelly loaded with light green reflective glitter and blue-green, blue-violet, and orange-red iridescent flakes. I was so excited to see that Psyche Minerals has joined Hella Handmade Creations. I believe that this is just their second month in Hella Handmade Creation, but it could be the third. I love this formula by Psyche Minerals. This one is a no-brainer for me. Their formula with the reflective glitter, this jelly base, and then these iridescent flakies within it, it's fantastic. I love the way the light bounces around within this polish. It's just out of this world. And the fact that this one is green, I would love to try this formula out in one of my favorite colors. This one was also an immediate add to wish list when I saw that this one was called But He Was Still Hungry. I started my teaching career teaching kindergarten for several years, and this one was a mainstay in the classroom. It was a student favorite. It was one of my favorites. It is a classic for a reason, and I can't help but smile when I say that line, but he was still hungry. All the memories flood back. This fun sparkly green polish is by Psyche Minerals, but he was still hungry. This next one up is by Red Eyed Lacquer, and it's called ET Phone Home. This one is another cap pre-order polish with only 100 of them being made available this month. That is an incredibly small cap, and if this one does make the final cut and ends up in my shopping cart when the shop opens, I will have to consider making my purchase right when the shop opens on April 14th at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time to ensure that I can get this polish when the availability cap is so tiny. Red Eyed Lacquer continues their iconic movie quote series with a polish inspired by E.T. E.T. Phone Home is a light purple crelly with purple-blue shifting shimmer and hollow flakes. Now this is a colorway I'm drawn to time and time again. I love that this one has that light purple lean to it. This is the type of color that I'm often incredibly drawn to in the wintertime. It's got that sparkle and a little bit of an iciness to it. Being a light purple crelly with this kind of look, this one has spring written all over it. It's reminding me of hyacinths and tulips and lilacs and crocuses. All things that I can't wait to see blooming in my area, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I love this colorway, but I do know that I own a few in my collection that would kind of be in a similar vein. I'll have to take a close look at my collection to see if this one really is one that I should be purchasing, but I do know that I love it, and Red Eyed Lacquer is a brand that really can do no wrong in my eyes. This really fresh, light purple Crelly is by Red Eyed Lacquer ET Phone Home. This next polish up is by Ribbit Stickets, and this one is called Dancing Hippos. This one is another capped pre-order with, again, a tiny little cap of only 100 being made available this month. Ribbit Stickets continues their 100 Years of Magic series with a polish inspired by Fantasia's Dancing Hippos. Dancing Hippos has a mauve-leaning brown Crelly base with a bright pink shift. Ribbit Stickets is a brand that I've explored mainly for their hand cream over the last several years through collaboration websites and things like that, but I've never had the chance to try their nail polish out. I'm really interested in this color. This one is a neutral but better. I could wear this all the time. 4 seasons a year, any kind of occasion. This is a really special looking neutral, that mauve leaning brown Crelly base, and then with that bright pink shift. It's got a great level of interest to it that really only indie polishes can bring. Another thing that I'm loving about this one is the fact that it's called Dancing Hippos. When I was young, I loved the movie Fantasia, and I loved all the dancing animals. Ballet and dance has been a big part of my life, all of my life since I was quite young, and it continues to be as well. This one just brings back so many fond childhood memories of those incredible dancing hippos and the laughs and just the music of that whole movie. This was one that I thought was so underrated when I was growing up. I always loved the way that it introduced me to classical music in such a unique way. This would be a well-loved and well-used polish in my collection if I were to get it. And not only that, a perfect opportunity to try a new-to-me polish brand in Ribbit Stickets. This incredible neutral but better is by Ribbit Stickets, Dancing Hippos. This next polish up is by Sassy Cat's Lacquer, Sea Glass Carousel. This one is another capped offering with a cap of only 100 again. Oh, these makers are breaking my heart a little bit this month. I'm going to have to make my decisions right when the shop opens April 14th, because if I don't, I could very well miss out on some top picks. Sassy Cat's Lacquer continues their New York series with a polish inspired by the Sea Glass Carousel in Battery Park. Sea Glass Carousel has a tropical indigo Crelly base filled with purple glowy shimmer and micro red sparkle. I am so blown away by the fact that they say that this one has a tropical indigo Crelly base. I'm seeing such vibrant purple through here, but I do know that Sassy Cat's Lacquer is kind of unlike any other brand when they produce this type of polish. It's actually been a hot minute since I've purchased anything from Sassy Cat's Lacquer, and I'm kind of mad at myself for that. This is one of my favorite finishes that they produce. I love when they have these incredible shimmer polishes that have that sea glass effect. And I've talked about the sea glass effect of their polishes before too, when I've worn their polishes and when I've swatched them out. I love that this one actually has sea glass in the polish name, because that's exactly the effect that I think Sassy Cat's Lacquer has mastered with these shimmer polishes that they produce. This one's described as having a tropical indigo Crelly base, and then an incredible purple glowy shimmer. And I'm also really intrigued by the addition of what they're saying is a micro red sparkle. Purple and red has been one of those analogous color combinations that I've always loved growing up. There's just, I don't know what it is about it, but purple and red together, it's always captured my attention. I can't think of where that initially started, but I know that that's been a trend for me. I'm so intrigued by that. Now, I do have to sort of calm myself down a little bit. It is described as being a micro red sparkle, and I am seeing hints of that sparkle in some of these swatch photos. I am seeing it a tiny bit here as well as in the bottle that the swatcher is holding. I just think that it's a really interesting take on this. I know that this is a finish that I love by Sassy Cat's Lacquer. I don't own anything from them in the purple range at all, so I know that I'd really appreciate this color, and I'm very much intrigued by this play of purple and red, even though I do have to be realistic that probably the red aspect is going to be very subtle. This is one I'm going to have to consider pretty carefully this month. This one is by Sassy Cat's Lacquer Sea Glass Carousel. This next polish up is by Sassy Sauce Polish, and this one is called Popular. This one is another capped offering, but this one has a cap of 300, so a little bit better than some of the last few that I was looking at. Sassy Sauce Polish continues their shoes series with a polish inspired by a photo of Glinda's shoes in Wicked. Popular. Oh gosh, I can't help but saying it like that too, considering the musical. But Popular is a cotton candy pink with hollow flakies inspired by a photo of Glinda's shoes in Wicked. I went with this inspo since we are up for Encore month and the Encore polish is related. And actually, in fact, I do own that other Encore polish as well, and it is stunningly beautiful. So go check that one out if you haven't seen it yet. Here's another Wicked inspired polish. I have to give this one a second look if it's inspired by Wicked. Not only that, but I'm also realizing I actually have not that many pink indie polishes in my collection. I think when I first started getting into indie polishes, oh boy, almost like 3 years ago now, which is kind of cool, I wasn't going for the pinks quite as much. I think it's because a lot of the mainstream polishes that I own or have access to are pink. That's a more common drugstore brand type color. I don't know what was wrong with me really in terms of not securing so many pinks. But pink is an amazing color, and of course, indie polishes just do them so well. This one is so much fun. It's very springy and summery and absolutely Glinda. And I'm really loving this look. This really cheery, sparkly hollow pink is by Sassy Sauce Polish Popular. This final polish on my wish list this month is by Witch Cult Nail Lacquer, and this one is called Hold Me. Witch Cult Nail Lacquer continues their Tim Burton series with a polish inspired by Edward Scissorhands. Hold Me is a cornflower blue with pink violet aurora shimmer. There again is a cap of only 100 for this one. Witch Cult Nail Lacquer is another brand where I own, I think, only 2 polishes by them. And I love the 2 that I have. The 2 that I have are so completely unique. They really are standouts in my collection. And there's something about this polish too that I think would be very much in the same vein. There are quite a few things about this polish that caught my attention. First of all, the fact that it's Witch Cult Nail Lacquer, and I love the 2 polishes that I already own by them. And I'd happily grow my Witch Cult collection because I think this brand really deserves it. Secondly, Edward Scissorhands was a movie that I grew up loving. There was something kind of like before emo about that movie. It was so moody and I loved it. I couldn't get enough of it when I was younger. I think I was a little bit afraid of it too, actually. I was quite young when I first saw it. It's always been a little bit whimsical and magical to me. Edward Scissorhands may have been the first Tim Burton movie I ever saw. It's actually a movie, come to think of it, I probably haven't seen in a couple of decades, and I could really stand to rewatch it. Also to see how this color plays in with that movie. I'm curious to know how this color was inspired. Also, though, this polish has 2 things that I love. One of them is that sort of smooth sea glass type quality that I mentioned for the Sassy Cat's Lacquer as well. But the other thing that really gets me is a polish that somehow resembles Denim Blues, and I think that one does that. This one is an awfully beautiful shade of denim-y blue, being a cornflower blue, with this gorgeous shimmer through it. But I don't know, there's something about like denim-y blue polishes that I'm drawn to year round. It makes me think, especially though, of September and back to school season in my part of the world here in Ontario, Canada. But yeah, there's so many things about this polish that I'm loving, and I would love to give Witch Cult nail lacquer a little bit more attention in my collection. I feel that they're underappreciated, and I would love to give them more love. This incredible cornflower blue is by Witch Cult nail lacquer. Hold me. So that's it for my 15 item wish list this month. Hella Handmade Creations opens this month on April 14th, 2025 at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and will close on April 21st at 11:59 p.m. Hawaiian Time. That time is incredibly important for me because I risk having some of these favorite items sell out on me if I don't shop early. Caps of only 100 polishes, that's quite a small amount. And if I feel strongly enough about purchasing these polishes, I'll have to shop right when the shop opens so I don't miss out. There is so much to take a look at in this shop. Not only do they have the regular April monthly releases, but they also have an encore section on their website where a few select brands, I think it's usually 4 or 5 brands, and it's done alphabetically, are invited to bring back one of their popular polishes from a previous release. And this month, as they mentioned, one of the brands is Sassy Sauce Polish, but there are other brands as well that are bringing back customer favorites. That's well worth a look. The other thing that's happening this month too, as it does most months, is they open up a new release of overstock items. What they'll be releasing when the shop opens is also overstock items from December 2024's shop. If you do choose to shop anything from the December 2024 shop, you'll really want to consider making your purchase right when the shop opens at 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, because sometimes these overstock items are only available in the very smallest of quantities, sometimes 5 items or less. Right now, they're all listed as currently unavailable because they are not currently available to purchase, but when the shop opens, they will be released for purchase, and try to beat the rush if you can so that you can secure any that you have your eye on. Something else worth a strong mention as well is the listing of past overstock items. Usually once overstock items are released, so in this case, the new releases that will be happening this month in the overstock section are from December 2024. Usually what happens is that they remain in the website available for purchase until they sell out. So you'll see in this section, past overstock, these are items that if they catch your eye, you can purchase them right now. You don't have to wait until the official shop opening where the new April releases are offered. You can just go right ahead and purchase these items now. And you can see from the listing here, there are 80 currently available items. If you want them, you can buy them right now so you don't miss out. So that's it for my wish list. I'm wondering, are you planning on shopping Hella Handmade Creations this month? If you are, which items are catching your attention? I'd love to know all your thoughts about your top picks. I'd also love to know all your thoughts about my wish list. Please feel free to share all your opinions. There's no way that I can purchase 15 items. And even at that, I have to be careful. I may not be able to shop at all because I am a Canadian. Unfortunately, tariffs between Canada and the US are very much a reality for me. I do have to watch the budget because tariffs are now a part of my regular everyday life in all of my purchases, not just my nail polish purchases. So budgeting is more important for me than ever before. So please feel free to share all your opinions with me. I'd love to know your thoughts, whether I can purchase or not. There are some incredible offerings, and I'd love to know what you think of them all. We can continue on the conversation about this month's releases long after. If you enjoy wish listing content like this, please consider giving this video a like. It indicates to me that this is content that you're interested in. And moving forward, I'll try my best to produce content like this in the months ahead. As well, if you enjoy nail-related content in general, please consider subscribing. I release nail-related content as often as I possibly can, and by subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thank you so much for joining me this month. Happy shopping. Hopefully I'll see you again in the next one. Take care. Bye.